been like that for 3 days. So you're going to see some raw footage of just when I hit rock bottom. You're going to hear it in my voice. And I'm going to include that in this video, in all these pieces together, because I am the biggest cheerleader for everybody who's in a situation where the house is just packed full of stuff. I am not completely blameless in all this by any means. But you will hit that frustration point, and I hit it, and I hit it hard. I had water in places I've never had water. Down my kitchen cabinet, down the wall behind my kitchen cabinet, off the shelves in my kitchen cabinet. We have electrical issues that had to be, unwired because water was coming out of a light socket. Water was coming out of a light switch. I've now, even the light in my own bedroom now is getting water. The water is moving and causing even more havoc. But we had water, that storm from Ian, the hurricane that hit Puerto Rico and Florida so hard. By the time that, don't do that to the speaker. By the time that got up here, the amount of water it dumped on that leak on the roof, there was water, went through the wall and went from second floor to basement. Yeah, we've spent 2 days cleaning up, mopping up. I've used every towel in the house because I had water through the playroom door jamb, water down the walls. I'll make another part of this, and I'll show you what has and what still has to get done. And during all this, board of reviews for my boys, for the Boy Scouts, started Wednesday night. So I've had a lot of paperwork to do for them and finish up merit badges so that they can get to the next rank or can get a merit badge finished so they can get it at the Court of Honor, which is on the 26th of this month. So it'll be the night before my birthday. I don't think I've had a Court of Honor hit that close to my birthday in a long time. So, but I'll piece together and show you what's going on. But know that it's like you're seeing me, and I'm a lot better now today. It's okay. It's okay to have those moments where you just fall apart. Sometimes you've got to. You just let it out of your system. Don't let it stop you, but let it out of your system, and you'll see what I mean. And you're not supposed to be climbing on my desk. Really, I've got to call Mrs. Davis about you. So, with that said, enjoy it what you can, and know that if there's always setbacks in life, and you can get through them. You can. You really can. All right? So, let me get going and go film the other parts so that I can piece this together. All right, let's start with right here. So, before, guys, get away from my feet. So before water came down behind the wallpaper, the bad part is that this is the shelf that has stuff that needs to go on eBay, stuff that is on eBay, and some vintage magazines for Christmas on the bottom shelf. But it got so wet that the wallpaper literally started peeling off the wall. Not to be outdone, now this we knew about. We knew this was a problem. Not to be outdone, water has come out of that light. And look at my wall. Look at my wall. You can see the discoloring. The water was all the way over to here. It was all the way over to the corner. It's never done that before. It has come through the door jamb right there. My door won't shut right now because it's warped the top of the door jamb, and the floor is starting to warp because so much water came down, and I had to get everything out from behind that door. And look at what's right in front of it. All my reference books. there's hundreds of dollars in value of these reference books. And I still have to move all this. So, hi, Frodo. You're not going to climb up on me. Say hello, Frodo. Say hello. I have to get new collars because these cloth ones, they've torn up. But we've mopped up the floor, and some of the stain actually came up off the floor. But this was back there. Very dusty. It's a fabulous mirror, which is meant to go at some point in my dining room. But I've still got all this. This all had to get moved out of various places and is now in the playroom, which was the kids' room, you know, for the kittens. So now I got to deal with all this yet because I was going to start putting the stuff from Philly Flipper in here, but I need to get that away from the wall before the next rain. And the only place I could think of to put it is out here just in the corner, you know, so that I can still have a way to get to the books, but I cannot risk having those books get wet. Now, they are not pushed back to the back of the shelf, to the back of the, so they're not against the wall, but still that's damp. I don't want them getting mildewed. So but this is just, look out, guys. Look, it's sticking to the floor. But look, it discolored all it just fell right off. Just fell right off. All the way down. And there's still little bits back there. And that's just this hallway. And the water, you can see where it had puddled on the floor. And then it's also gone underneath in between the floorboards. So these old oak boards are warping at the seams, which is not good. Come on out of there, guys. I got to shut the door. Elrond. See what I mean? It's sticking on the floor. Come on, Elrond. Get out of there. Come on. Come out. Ugh, there we go. He'll come out, but not to be outdone. It came down in my kitchen, yet everywhere in this house needs paint. Move it. Move it. Okay, this is one of the bags. Tote bag of stuff that I took off of this cabinet. But this cabinet here, now this had been piled up with stuff. I'm still emptying stuff, sorting it into boxes. This is all craft stuff. This is all stuff that should have been in my toolbox. But yeah, but this literally was like up to here. There was enough room for the mugs. I filled another bag. That box is nothing but packs of photos that my mother had shoved all in that corner. But the water came from up there. All my Snoopy Christmas dishes, the boxes got wet. Any of the old paper, that's so old. A lot of this got wet. And everything down here I had to quick grab but it was all on this side. And it just, yeah. And of course this corner had become the catch-all. And we had to clear, this chair couldn't even sit here. And we got everything out and sorted. Mike, there was water in the cellarway where the shelves of tools were. So Mike took care of that. We got that organized, which is good because then some of the stuff that was out here in the corner, yes, Frodo, which were battery packs for his weed whacker and stuff like that. That all now has a proper place, not my kitchen. It's in the cellarway on the landing, but yeah, so all this will go, has to all be dealt with. That will stay. This beauty will stay. But everything else up here, well, there's somewhere in here, there's pens, jar pen, pen holder, pen thing, pen cup full of pens. Anyway, that'll stay. But I'm not letting all this stuff go back. I'm going to get it all sorted out, find places for it. Right now, it had to go in boxes to get all the water. And I threw a bunch of stuff away, sorted a bunch of stuff, found stuff that should be for sale, found stuff that should be held back. But I still haven't gotten on a ladder yet, because I have to get on the 6-foot tall step ladder, and I have to get pretty far up there. Mike and I just didn't have time today to get to that top shelf and see how bad it is. But we'll get there, and when we do, we're going to just go through all these top shelves. I want everything down, wash everything, see what we've got, and deal with it. And yes, I know there's a green up there that does glow. It is uranium glass, but those dessert cups have been well loved and have lots of little flea bites and chips on them, so I don't think it's worth me parting with them. But yeah, I know this is also a catch-all kind of thing. Some of it because we found stuff I've been hunting for buried up here. But I'm not going to show you the basement. The basement, yeah, there was water. It just was a matter of getting a few things out of the way of the water. So that wasn't as difficult, anywhere near as difficult as dealing with here. And more of the ceiling upstairs had collapsed. So we had to clean up plaster and all that fun stuff. So I'm still dealing with the aftermath. We literally had every single towel in the house, kitchen towels, bath towels, everything, hand towels, was mopping up because upstairs, these little monsters had knocked over the bin. I think I'll take you upstairs and show you. Okay, sometimes you just can't help but cry. Came down, find out it's leaking all on here, but I looked up, and all my Christmas plates, all my Snoopy Christmas stuff, the boxes are all wet. Because now it's leaking through here. It's never, ever, it's never leaked through here. I just can't today. And Mike's gone all day and it has to work tonight. I'm on my own, and I guess I'm gonna get the stepladder out and figure out what I can save. Aw, I haven't even had a chance to ever use any of that. Some days you just can't. It just gets to you. But it's okay. I'm just gonna cry as I work and let it out on my system, but I'm not gonna let it stop me from working on this. And that's the hardest lesson of all, of dealing with all this stuff when your house is just overstuffed. And I just... Uh-oh, wait, I see shiny. Yes, the ceiling's filthy. I'm worried because I see shiny over my head. Oh, dear Christ. The kitten's knocked over a bin, so I overslept because I was exhausted, and they must have done it after Mike came home and went to bed, and it just soaked in through the floor, so this could be all of that coming down, but it's running down the wall. It's also dripping, and I realized that the ceiling above me is all sparkly and wet, which means, oh fuck, sorry about that. It means the kitchen table behind me, where I've just been putting things that need to spacing them out to dry, I'm gonna need to do that too. Yeah. I'm just gonna cry, and I'm gonna keep going. Look at it this way, stuff's getting cleaned out. None of this is what it was on my list for today. None of it. I wanted to work, and now they're saying the rain's gonna last for 3 days. Mike went up in the rain before he left, and nailed a tarp up there to try to limit the damage of water coming in further. And yeah, I'm just so done. Keep me in your prayers, guys. The kittens are hiding because I just lost my shit at Elron and screamed at him because he kept trying to climb up here. So at least it'll keep them away from me, but I hate screaming at my kids like that, furry or other. Oh well, just go keep going. If I can get through this, you guys can get through it too. You know? Oh, God. Look, that's like 30 years of grime on that, and cigarette smoke and crud because there's no range hood in this kitchen. And I'm too short. On a 6-foot tall step ladder, I can barely reach the ceiling. So I've never been able to scrub that. You can see where plates over what, I'll be 57 the end of the month, so 60 years of plates hitting the back wall has tipped the paint off. This yellow paint was put in when I was, I don't know, it might have been white first. I don't know. This was done when I was 5. I'm ever so much more than that now. And I have a cat. All right, so now you saw what I was dealing with. I've actually had 9 hours of sleep last night. So you're actually seeing me in far better shape than I was for the last 2 days previous. Because I think I was just finally exhausted. I mean, I was deliberately only sleeping 6 hours and then getting up and just keep working. And everything is exasperated by having the furry toddlers. And having Gary and who didn't help. And let Gimli out of the house twice. That's not okay. But Gary is Gary. He's just not, he just doesn't function on the same level as the rest of us. And Mike has helped wherever he could. Mike had a bunch of job interviews this week. Those were all set up. Those take precedence. So I was pretty much on my own. And by yesterday, I had pretty much destroyed my back. I could not bend to do anymore. So Mike last night, Mike did all that stuff in the corner while I continued to go through all that tiny minutia stuff that was all over, that was still left on the cabinet. And that way it was great because we worked together, because there were some things he found. He goes, okay, tools. I found this. Does this go in? Can this go in the cellarway, or does this go in your toolbox? So all the stuff from minutia work, like picture hanging, stuff like that, little tiny work, little tiny nails, all that is going into, that's what that little pile is. All that is going into my toolbox. My toolbox is sitting on the floor. I'm not lifting that right now. And all the bigger stuff went where it should be. We found the nozzle for, I found one of the nozzles for the blowtorch in there. Why? It was in the kitchen. I don't know. So that's in the cellar where it belongs, with the tank for the little tiny blowtorch. But I mean, that's just, I found stuff where I looked at it and went, Mom, why? Because some of it, yeah, Mom's been gone 15 years. Her bag full of recipes was still there. That's in the box with all the photos. So, and I also took the time to go through the photos. If you have a ton of old family photos, honestly, and they're taking up a lot of space, go through them and throw out all the blurry shots that aren't worth a darn, or stuff that's underexposed and it's too dark to see anything. Just throw those away. You don't need them. You really don't need them. And I did that. I went through and I threw out everything. There was one entire film that was a Philadelphia flower show, and all but 3 shots from the flower show were all blurry, but the rest of the pictures were from Michael's birthday when he was 4. So I kept those because those weren't blurry. But all those flower show ones, chucked them. No point. And I probably threw out easily a 6-inch tall stack of photos. And that way it all fit in that little box. Otherwise they wouldn't have all fit. So now I know what that box is though, and it's labeled. And I have those 2 totes, the big one and the little one, the paper bag, to go through. And now I have a box that's all craft stuff, which I exceeded the limits of the box. But that's okay. That's okay. It'll all get straightened out. You can do it. You know, if you feel like your house is overwhelming you can do it. I'm kind of thankful. I'm trying to look at the grateful side of this in that I will have a cabinet space that will be cleared because none of this, except for the utilitarian, like I showed you, that little utilitarian little thing of drawers, that's all little tiny screws, more cup hooks. It's just an odd batch of little stuff. That, you know, the keys for the radiators are in there to get the air out of them, all kind of little handy stuff like that. That's staying. The purple pitcher, the glass pitcher, that's staying. Everything else, it's all gonna be decided what's going on there, and 99% of that is not going back. It will be such a boost to me to have one cleaned up, cleared, organized spot. Will be a massive help just for the boost to my morale, to the visual boost. There is such a thing as the clutter of what you see can be noise in your head. It does get to you having, you know, so much visual clutter. It's so much visual static constantly in the background, and it's exhausting. So to have just even one counter is a plus. And one counter can become 2 counters, can become 3 counters, can become a cabinet. So, but right now I need to sort out that stuff because I can't leave it sitting in totes on the floor because kittens. But the big thing tonight is to get that bookcase moved. I let that wait because it did not appear that there was any water damage actually on the books. So when the emergency hits, you have to quickly assess. Don't panic. That's going to be your first reaction. Take a deep breath and go, all right, what can I do first? I knew to readjust everything so water was then being captured. Start throwing towels to soak up the water. While they were doing that, Okay, this is attempt number 2 with Gimli outside, and he's trying to hide in places I really don't want him to hide. We came to this side of the house because the neighbor on the other side is cutting his grass, and the noise is just too much. You gonna come out of there? Hello? Gimli? Hey! Hello? He's gonna hide. Hi! Hello. Come on. What are you gonna do? Lay down? I mean, this is only attempt number 2. So we'll only stay out here for at most 10 minutes. And then back inside. But I want to get rid of these plants with the white. I don't know what they are, but they are all over the property and they need to go. Because, I mean, so Mike helped me pull all that down last year. We got it cut back and then we never got the top part. And then with him pushing hard to finish school, and for a while he was working 2 jobs. So the vining has still taken over the house and we haven't gotten the gutter back up. So all this needs to happen as well as out front. Out front's not as bad as the rest of the property, but it's cooler weather now. Oh, look who came out. Good boy. Good boy. I do have to tighten that harness up because it's the smallest one Michael could find. And it's a little too big for him. No, you can't go through the fence. Not happening. Not happening. So I'm going to quit filming so I can get at least a few of these plants out while he's exploring. I have my timer set. And anyway, across the street now is making noise. We might not last 10 minutes. Well, look what's in the yard. Now, I don't think the markings on the head are not the same. It's too dark on the head. That's not, and he's just got a darker color overall on the tips of the fur. So it's not the same groundhog that we used to have that would go under the neighbor's shed. And we'd only see it in the fall, and we'd only see it in the spring when it came out. But we have a groundhog again. Honestly, my yard is just, people don't get it. Technically, I'm in Chester, an urban city, not my section, and I seem to get the critters. I am thankful that I haven't smelled any skunks this year, but yeah, we have a groundhog back. Oh, you're a biggin'. I really hope you're a boy, because it's always trouble when it's the girl, because then you end up with more than one. Having just one visit me in spring and fall, I don't mind at all. He's looking for bits of clover to eat, because there's clover mixed in the grass. He seems to really like the clover. He likes the dandelions. I get the dandelions because they're full of nutrients. Yeah, we've got a new little friend, and the kittens didn't know what to do because 2 nights ago they kept staring out the kitchen window, and the possum was up on the porch looking for cat food, and they were watching the possum. Now they'll be watching this guy if they spot him. God, he's big. He's a big one. But yeah. And everybody, I have trouble selling on Facebook Marketplace. I haven't been able to have a yard sale in years because everybody's so afraid of coming into Chester because, it's all city and it's all, falling apart and all. Not my section. I'm cut off by 95. This area we've got, I've got Crozier Arboretum is down the street. Chester Park is not that far away, less than half a mile. And then there were all the critters that were at Senator Bell's field just down the street, which they tore the woods out and they're building. So all these creatures had to go somewhere. I haven't seen the foxes. I don't know where the foxes are because the den was back there, but yeah. And look. I have a kitten. Oh, he spotted it. You're not going to play with it, Aragorn. Where's your collar? Oh, you always get these quick release collars off. He spotted it. It's not a kitty. You're not going to go play. You're not allowed outside anyway. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff done. Now we still got all the remnants of metal we got to get off of down here. All this metal, and we'll have a burn pile in the fall because there's some wood from the roof. There's a lot of metal down there that's going to the junkyard. So, yeah. A new critter for the yard.